The Sports Betting Podcast for Friday, March the 27th, the Sweet 16, brought to you by OffshoreInsiders.com, the top picks in the nation, www.offshoreinsiders.com. Joe Duffy's picks. What do we do on Thursday? Sweep. Just getting out the room. 10-3 lately in the NCAA tournament. Notre Dame, Kentucky, Xavier under, the Lord of the Big Dance. We've got a couple more wise guy plays for tonight in the Sweet 16 for Friday. Two major plays. The two wise guy plays are on sides. Two major plays on the total. Wise guy plays from Joe Duffy's picks. Simply the single most sought-after play in the handicapping industry. You got NBA as well. www.offshoreinsiders.com. www.offshoreinsiders.com. NC State and Louisville. NC State with the 15th best strength of schedule in the nation. Louisville 34th. NC State has lost 3 straight Sweet 16 straight up. State has been incredibly inconsistent. It did beat Louisville, Duke, and North Carolina during ACC play, but also suffered some losses against Boston College and Wake Forest. Wolfpack have had a good defensive front court, but the offensive comes from the backcourt where they excel in isolation. NC State travels 520 miles of this game. Louisville 602, so no major advantage there. Big revenge game for Rick Pitino, who excels in revenge situations. Remember, 6 weeks ago, NC State annihilated Louisville, getting by 9, getting 10.5. State clearly figured out the Cardinals' full-court press in that game, just 12% turnover rate. NC State's interior defense has been tremendous, which means Louisville going to have to hit some outside shots to win this contest. Michigan State and Oklahoma. Michigan State's going to travel 422 miles. Oklahoma 1258. Oklahoma's Lon Kruger becomes the first coach in NCAA Division I history to take 4 programs to the Sweet 16 or beyond. So certainly Tom Izzo well earned with the reputation of basically being the Joe Duffy of college basketball coaching, owning the month of March. But certainly holding his own is Lon Kruger. MSU is going for its second straight Elite 8 and 9th under Tom Izzo. Sooners are just one of 6 teams in the nation, the only among the Power 5 conference schools that has started the same 5 players in every game this season. Oklahoma's vastly improved on defense as their points allowed average is 13 points fewer than a year ago. They rank in the 90s in defensive efficiency nationally in Kruger's first 3 seasons at Oklahoma. They rank in the top 10 this season. MSU is 232nd luckiest team in the nation according to the Ken Palm Index. Remember, lucky teams are generally by handicappers considered to be overvalued, unlucky teams undervalued, and the luck meter says what a team's record has been in close games, how they've done in games that could have gone either way. Tom Izzo must decide whether to attack the glass as his teams do or be more conservative to compensate for the Sooners' speed. And that will certainly be the key to handicapping totals. Many of the sharpest bettors in the world have told us in our Skype confabs. UCLA and Gonzaga. UCLA is going to travel 1,237 miles to Dallas. Gonzaga, similar distance, 1,468. UCLA 15-5 their last 20 against the spread. Gonzaga has come up short since 2002. The team is only 12-13 straight up in the tournament with just 2 second weekend appearances against 5 losses to lower-seeded teams. In the 4 years Gonzaga had a top 3 seed, they have a pedestrian 5-4 straight-up record in the tournament. The Bruins have played good basketball in 2 wins over SMU and UAB, but enter the tournament with a 20-13 straight-up record and 3-8 over teams in the NCAA field, so perhaps they are getting ready at the right time. Their best win over a team not ranked was over a team that wasn't even ranked in the top 20 in the RPI. So they are at least playing okay now. The Zags have just 2 losses on the year. One came in overtime to Arizona, which many people consider to be perhaps the biggest contender to Kentucky. Arizona, of course, has already advanced to the Elite 8. Gonzaga possesses the 89th ranked strength of schedule in the nation and the 4th best offensive efficiency, getting 124.4 points per 100 possessions. UCLA has the 23rd strength of schedule. Many believe that UCLA doesn't even deserve to be in the tournament. Then they benefited from what is universally accepted as a horrific goaltending call to get past the first round. They've got an athletic front court matched up against a bad defense. Utah and Duke Duke is number 2 in offensive efficiency in the country, getting 122.2 points. But they're 49th in defensive efficiency, allowing a very generous 95.5. And they are, though, pretty solid, number 17 in strength of schedule. Utah 18th in offensive efficiency, but number 7 in defensive efficiency, allowing just 90.4 points per 100 possessions. Duke did crush San Diego State, one of the nation's top 5 defenses by almost any measure. Duke shot 55% from the field with 3 teams in the Sweet 16, UCLA, Arizona, Utah, and they are 7-1 straight-up record in the tournament so far. The Pac-12 is outperforming their expectations. The ACC, though, is 11-1 straight up. Brandon Taylor's in a bit of a slump for the Utes, and his firepower is greatly needed. Utah struggled when they kept settling for 3-point shots earlier in the year, but they're now playing to their strength. Guys, we're far from done. You know what we got coming up? Sportsbook betting trends, who is the public betting on these sides and totals, and we have against the spread trends. Remember, you want to be with offshoreinsiders.com throughout baseball season. Joe Duffy's picks, the underdog, the king of the underdog and small favorites. We debuted with a winning day, June 1st of 1988, and certainly what a great omen. We have been winning like crazy in all sports since, including, as we said, Major League Baseball underdogs and small favorites. Late info has been absurd when it comes to baseball picks. The greatest run in the history of sports is going on at late info as far as any single sport entering the 4th year in baseball. Get all that at offshoreinsiders.com. And now let's continue with some spread betting trends. Let's go back to 1980 on the score phones. This podcast, its roots truly go back several decades. Michigan State and Oklahoma. Michigan State 7-1 outside the conference, 7-3 against teams with a winning percentage of above 600. 9-4-1 to the Big 12. Oklahoma 3-7 in Friday games, 2-8 overall. Some over-under trends. Oklahoma has gone under 7-1 on neutral courts. NC State against Louisville. NC State 9-2 following an ATS win. By the way, all these records are against the spread unless we specify totals. They are also 7-2 against teams with a winning record. 18-7 on neutral sites. 33-16 inside their own conferences. Remember, Louisville now a member of the ACC. Louisville is 25-10 on neutral courts. 11-5 in the NCAA tournament, but they're on a 3-7 overall skid. 2-6 inside the conference. As far as over-under trends, Louisville is going under 19-7 against teams with a winning percentage of above 600. Utah and Duke, the Utes 22-6 outside the conference, 33-6 following a straight-up win. Hell, they're 67-30 overall, 52-25 against teams with a winning record. Duke has covered 4 straight outside the conference, 6-1 against teams with a winning record, but they're 2-7 after allowing less than 50 points in their previous game. As far as some over-under trends, Duke has gone under 16-5 on neutral courts. Now let's take a look at the public betting trends. The 2 biggest side bets for tonight, Michigan State getting 76% of the people betting on this side are betting on the Spartans, and Duke getting 77% of the bets. As far as totals bets, the UCLA game over at 69% and Utah over at 68%, the 2 biggest totals bets. OffshoreInsiders.com has the Power 620 sports services behind each and every play. Master Lock Line, again, tracing its roots back to 1980 on the 976 Lock Score Phone days. www.offshoreinsiders.com.